Have you ever told yourself you wanted to start creating content on social media? However, after a couple days, that motivation fades. You're not alone. I've been a part of that cycle for so long and I couldn't figure out how to break it. I would often blame my bad habits, my lack of time, and I would even say to myself, I need to work harder. Here's the truth. You do not need more willpower to be consistent. You need better systems. Today, I'll be sharing 3 content hacks that changed my content game forever, starting with tip number 1, my personal favorite: everything is content. You know, this year, I think the biggest shift in my creation journey that helped me show up better was I got to understand that in a personal brand, everything you do can be created as content. Therefore, you are the content. And what do I mean by that? There's so many ways that we are the content. For instance, you can just literally record whatever you do on a day-to-day basis. Now, you might see people on Instagram, doing their thing. They'll be reading a book or they'll be using their computer, and you'll notice that they're recording themselves doing it. I used to think that people would literally set up the camera like this and then start fake typing for the camera, right? And then, they'll end the video, everything like that. No, what you really do is just film yourself doing what you do on a regular basis. Yeah, a camera's watching you. So what? It doesn't have to be all staged and everything. I literally sometimes just leave this camera going, whether I'm in a good conversation, whether I'm just doing research and typing out some of my notes in Notion, or I'm simply just reading my Bible. I pop the camera up just to have some stuff and footage up just in case I want to make an Instagram reel out of it or just show people what I do. If you can learn how to practice this, your content creation game will be taken to the next level, because then you have a whole stash of content that you could be using. I had a discovery call with my subscriber the other day. He was literally just telling me about his journey on YouTube. He's asking me for advice. I ran the camera and literally I got like 2-3 clips out of it of me just talking and me just giving advice. When you're asked for advice on the spot, you kind of give it better than if you were to think about, how am I going to teach something? It's actually hard to teach something on YouTube. In my opinion, from my experience, it's really hard to teach what I know. But if someone asks me for advice, I can be very specific to you and cater it to you. But in reality, that person is your target audience. Here's some practicals if you need somewhere to start. Record yourself having a conversation. The times that I do so are when I'm on stage, when I'm giving discipleship or mentorship. Maybe I'm live streaming, maybe I'm in a meeting, consulting somebody. Maybe you're just on the phone with that one friend that every time you call, it's like an hour long. It's like a whole podcast the way y'all be talking about some deep stuff. Whatever it is, record it, because anything that you have to say, anything that you're doing in action, even if it's just a visual, can help someone see what you're doing. Another thing you can do is just record snippets of your day. You can post in your story what mics you're using, what camera you're using, you setting up your studio, even interacting with one of your friends on your own time or at a restaurant or something. And to some, that might sound pretty crazy to record in a restaurant, but the funny thing about that? We already do this naturally. When you and your boys just get together, you guys finally make it out the group chat, and then you get on Instagram, Snapchat, you post the meal that you had, you're posting the fact that you're out at 1:30 a.m. with the caption and everything. But listen, we naturally do this, whether we want to admit it or not. We do this, whether it's intentional or unintentional. Everybody uses social media, but it matters your intention. The biggest difference to go from just a poster on social media to an influencer on social media is simply just intention. If you're posting to show people that you're relatable, have conversations with people on the regular, you're showing people that you're human. And you'll actually realize that you don't have to go out of your way to be an influencer. But in reality, your life is the content. And check this out, that will influence the people watching. That's the only difference between an influencer and just a poster on social media: intention. So that's point number 1, everything is content. On to point number 2, take clips from long form content. So in addition to the first point I made, I think one of the ways that we limit consistency is when we're not reusing content. When you create long form content, which is pretty much anything longer than 2 minutes, you have so much leverage to actually reuse it. For example, look at some artists on Instagram. You notice how they're not just posting pictures of their lifestyle and promotion that their song is dropping next Friday. They're actually making like mini music videos, like showing people a catchy part of the song that they're just using it for like a reel or a trend. They're getting really creative when it comes to that type of stuff. And in the same way, us as creators, we can do the exact same thing. We can take clips from videos. We can use old footage as trends. We can even make a quote out of something that we said. One of the craziest things that I realized is that the most popular quotes are really just powerful phrases from popular people. This is what I mean. The reason they're so powerful is because they change lives. They really transform people's perspective. However, because they have such an influence on people and they've allowed their lives to be an influence on people, it gives it more authority. That's why when a popular athlete says something and speaks out on something, it holds more weight because so-and-so said it. But in all reality, we have the same ability to impact and transform people's lives and perspectives. You have so much words of wisdom that other people don't have, so use it. Make sure you're not not hiding it. We gotta put it out there. Speaking of repurposing content, one of the ways that I help creators that feel stuck and like it's difficult to post consistently on YouTube is by actually doing the work for you. If you would actually want some help with having your short and long form videos edited, thumbnails designed, titles made, all done for you, I want to invite you to check out my done for you service, Your Brand Express. You can check out my website. The link is in my description and also in the comments. This is just for the people who want to take their stuff to the next level and feel like they need a little bit of help. You can also DM me on social media. My social medias are CJA Alleyne. Shoot me a DM. I'd love to talk a little bit more on it. So far, we covered everything as content and the power of repurposing videos. My third and final piece of advice is very, very simple, but often overlooked. And that is simply writing your ideas out. I tend to find content creation so much easier when I have a well of content to create from. We're all created to be creative, and there are times where I'm in a flow and I'm just maybe in the shower driving and I'm like, yo, that's a great idea. I should do that. There's also times where I have nothing to pull my videos out of. I'm kind of just pulling out of the air or whatever. There is such thing as creator's block. And I think writing down your ideas is super smart because it'll create a well of video ideas for you. And you can pull your videos from there instead of having to use all your brain power to think for 30 minutes. What's a good video? What's a good video? What's a good video? So here are some of the things I do to get my video ideas. It's not all from the dome. One way I do so is research of my niche. There's a lot of insight you can get from ChatGPT, your analytics and just how people are responding to your videos, YouTube search, your competitors, people doing the same thing as you. You can often get a lot of ideas from stealing ideas from people and also looking up what do people in this field actually want. I think one of the ways that we get ourselves trapped with our own video ideas is that we make videos for us instead of for people. I think the best way to be about posting in your niche is posting for the people. Serve your people, not yourself. I know YouTube does say you, and I think you should definitely do you and the things that you love and you're passionate about, but how can you help people if you're not trying to help people intentionally? So yeah, definitely research for sure. One of the other ways I do is just take concepts that I've learned. There's some convictions that I gained on YouTube over the years, and perhaps I'll make a video on that because it helped me get to the next level. You can just write inspiring ideas that pop up in your head. Some of them you don't always have to film, but I think having just like a flow where it's just like you're in the shower and it's just like, yo, that would be a fire video idea. Why didn't I even think about that? That would be unique, that would be creative, all that. Like definitely write those things down because you can grasp and catch an idea before it kind of like leaves your mind, you know? Another thing you can take is trends, right? There's a lot of trends going on with Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts. Sometimes there's music playing in the background. There's a lot of things you can really just take things that are working for other people and just implement them in your own system. As you go on in your journey and the more people that you help, you'll learn how to actually help people. And you can take what you're practicing and what you're teaching to maybe your clients or just people around you and the thing that you're so good at and just make a video on it. Frequently ask questions. That's another thing, kind of like the things that people are giving you feedback for. Hey, how do you do this? How do you do that? How did you get so good at that? What equipment do I need? etc. You just make videos about that, and that's serving your people. That's how you get to the root of the problem for your people, by when they tell you you're making videos on it, you're on it. And last but not least, making your videos for your target viewer in mind. The more direct impact you have on a community of people with the same problem. And honestly, all of your ideas become so much easier when you get to learn about your target viewer. And if you're looking to find your target viewer and perhaps even find your niche, I posted a video on how to find your niche, and it may just help you find what you really want to post on social media. Click this video on your screen to find out more about what I'm talking about. I'll see you guys there.